What is up, everyone? Welcome to Put It in My Mouth. I am Lala, and with me, as always, is Judith.
Hi.
Hi, best friend.
How are you?
We have a special episode today.
A very special episode.
Special in the fact that it's just us.
Nobody else came. That's what makes it special.
I hope those of you at home, listener, mother, Janet, aren't disappointed.
Hey, Janet, it's just us girls
It's
today.
just the two of us. But we've done a few of these, and we thought that people might want to know about us. Maybe a little bit, maybe not. It doesn't matter.
I feel like I'm an open book, but maybe there's some unanswered questions out there.
I mean, I don't think you don't put yourself out there. You know, you're not big on the socials. You're
no,
not.
but I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just don't feel that complicated. It's just not that complicated.
Well, I think people just want to know our general origin story.
Our villain origin story.
Yeah, like why are we doing this?
I don't know. Why are we doing this?
I ask myself that all the time. So you got us today, and hopefully you will enjoy us just talking shit to each other, which is basically what we do on the reg, which is why we decided to do this podcast. I mean, when people say, "Oh, why did you decide to do a podcast?" which has only been like one person, I'm just like, because I like talking about food. I like food media, and I like talking about food with Judith. And so we talk about food anyway, and we talk shit anyway. So if we find it entertaining, then surely one other person.
Our mothers. Actually, you know what? My mom will not find this interesting.
No?
Nope. Nope. Yvonne's not going to listen to this.
Yeah, Yvonne doesn't really care. But she still loves us.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's why we're doing it. Let's take it way back. We don't need to tell them what year it was.
No. It was in the 20th century.
True. How did we
It was
meet?
in the late 1900s.
How did we meet?
All right, I'll tell you what I remember, and you can tell me what you remember.
Okay.
All right, so we were seniors in high school.
Not at the same high school.
Not at the same
we
high
did not
school.
go to the same high school.
No, we went, 45 minutes, an hour away from each
We
other.
lived in different counties.
And it was the audition to be a theater major at University of Maryland College Park.
Yes.
It's like the main campus.
Yes.
And I was a very serious artist. I was probably dressed all in black. I had very severe hair. I was doing a Shakespeare monologue. I took myself real fucking seriously. I was trained.
Yeah.
I was talented. And that's all there was to it. And then
And you went to like a special performing
I went to a
arts
performing
school.
arts thing.
Yeah.
And then I see this bitch. And you're like tall and pretty and skinny.
We're the same height.
And you were wearing like a lot of makeup and a cute outfit. And I'm pretty sure you sang 42nd Street.
Okay. That is correct. So we were both theater nerds.
Just different kinds of theater nerds.
Right. So
I can't to this day. I still can't. I can't sing.
So
So I think there's like, I wish I could, and I hate people that can. Exactly. And you were like, 42nd Street.
probably
And I
was.
was like, oh my God. She doesn't even know who Brecht is.
So Judith went to a performing arts school, and I went to just like a Catholic school, and was a singer dancer type person in those days. I didn't go to high school full time. I would leave. I would go to my dance studio and go dance for like fine arts credits and like do that for 5 hours a day. And I was a musical theater person. I wanted to be on Broadway.
And I just didn't think that was serious.
Yeah, and to me that was what my career was going to be. I was going to be a singer and a dancer on Broadway, and you wanted to be an actor in plays
Or whatever.
We didn't know this about each other, but here we are at this audition, and our paths are crossing. And I remember seeing her, and she did a monologue, and I don't think we were in the same room watching each other's auditions, but maybe we got to hear something.
How else would I have been
'cause
like 42nd Street? Even I know that's lame.
Because I was belting, baby.
Oh, you are a belter.
Yeah, I am a belter. So
I didn't like her.
I think you had to do
I didn't
two
like
things,
you.
right? It was like
You
two
had to do-
monologues or two
You had to do a
contrasting.
song and a monologue, and one had to be serious, One
Yeah.
had to be comedic.
Yeah. So I think I did like a Shakespearean monologue as well and a song. So anyway, you didn't like me because you thought I was like dumb, blonde, musical theater biatch. And I thought you were like all black. I take myself so seriously, theater, blah, blah, blah. I was probably just intimidated by you, like super intimidated.
Well,
by
the
you.
whole thing was intimidating, like auditioning
Yeah,
for
we were
college.
17 or
Like, give me a break.
I mean, we were children. Anyway, cut to, we end up not at that school. We both end up at a different school, the very prestigious Towson University.
At that time, it was Towson State University.
Right, they changed their name
Maryland
to make
State
it
School.
more prestigious.
First semester, freshman year, we were in thingy together.
Acting one.
No, we weren't acting one, but but I remember meeting you for the actually getting to know you for the first time in theater history
Oh,
with Robin.
Robin. Oh yeah, what was her last
Robin.
name?
She
Anyway.
had like long blonde hair.
I
and
know what
had,
she looked like. I
cute
can't remember her name.
nose.
I like Robin. She was lovely. Anyway, so I think at some point, I mean, we very quickly became friends.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we were like, oh, wait, I kind of remember you.
You're that bitch.
Yeah, you're that anyway.
But then it was
We were teammates. We were like in the program together.
Mm-hmm.
And you lived on one side of campus and I lived on the other side of campus. But I feel like very quickly it was like
attached at the hip.
everyone knew Lauren and Judith. And I was Lauren. That's why this is another origin story.
Her government name is Lauren Carroll.
My name is Lauren Carroll Zimsky.
I've never gone by Judy.
True. You hated it. You wouldn't let anyone call you that. But my family's always called me Lala, but I thought it was childish. So I never let anyone call me that until recently, but that's a different story. Or 10 years ago, but that's a different story. So anyway, yeah, everyone was like, oh, I think we were pretty famous. It was like those two freshman girls. Also because Judith and I got cast in the main stage show.
Oh, that's right.
As
because nobody else wanted to be in
freshmen.
it. Nobody else wanted to be in it.
Nobody else wanted to be in it.
That's
because
right.
it was like weird Japanese no theater.
I was Oedipus.
And I was
Yocasta.
Jocasta, yes. So and you couldn't tell, we had masks on. But so we were the badass freshmen that were attached at the hip. And then very quickly we became roommates. We ditched our roommates and became roommates.
Well, like in a natural progression.
Sure,
We didn't do it like out of turn.
No,
Like
we waited the semester
sophomore year.
and then or whatever. So yeah, that's how we met. And I feel like I've had so many firsts with you. It's kind of lovely. And like especially food. I mean, tons of firsts. Obviously, we've known each other since we were 18, but like a lot of food firsts. For instance, do you guys know that Judith used to be a vegetarian when I first met her?
I was vegetarian like from 14 years old.
That's another thing. It's like she was so serious. She was a vegetarian too.
But the thing about being a vegetarian that young is, yeah, okay, my mom was like kind of helping me, but she had held a grudge about it, so she really didn't make me like special meals separate from everybody else. And then you get to college and you start eating like an asshole anyway, right? Because you're on your own and you're like, well, I'm just going to eat this garbage. So it was like eating garbage and also not getting any protein. I mean, I was eating like 5 bowls of like Lucky Charms a day.
Right. It's not like you were eating
right.
lots of veg.
Yes. Super fresh fruits and vegetables. I was eating like French fries and Apple Jacks.
Yeah.
And I wondered why I felt terrible all the time.
And I think we were like in the dining hall one day or something, and you were like, I'm going to eat
my body was telling me that something was wrong.
Yeah. She ate the damn chicken finger.
And I was like, oh, right, this is delicious.
Lost her vegetarianism on a food dining hall chicken tender.
Oh, that sounds weird.
Yeah.
I lost it. I lost my vegetarianism on a chicken finger. Sounds fucking gross.
Yeah, well, that's your story.
Okay, so yeah, so the first, I mean, I had eaten meat before, previous to that, but I was like, it was a handful of years that I didn't.
I was relieved. I don't think that I knew that I really liked food though at that point. Do you remember? I mean, growing up, my family always told me I was so picky. My mother would always say, you're such a picky child. You're such a picky child. And I think I had that in my brain. And what I feel like I've come to realize as an adult is I wasn't necessarily a picky child. I think I had a palate from a young age. And I didn't.
Had a palate from a young age.
I know that sounds really fucking dumb, but like I didn't want to eat crap. Like I remember a lot of friends, cousins, whatever, would have birthday parties at McDonald's. And I was just like, ugh, I don't want to eat that. Like my cousins, besides the fries or the hot fudge sundaes, like my cousins would get so excited when they'd sleep over or when I would sleep over there, they'd be like, we're going to get up and get pancakes from McDonald's. And I'd just be like, oh, it's all so gross. Like I don't want to eat that food.
And was it a special thing or were they always eating McDonald's anyway?
I don't know. I think it was just like, just crap food in general. So for instance, when we would go out to dinner and Olive Garden was like fancy for us, right? You know, my sisters who are younger would get just pasta with butter and like cheese or whatever. And I'd off the kids menu or chicken fingers off the kids menu. And I would order the veal marsala off the adult menu. And I was probably 10 years old because I loved the sauce and I loved the mushrooms. And
and someone had introduced it to you.
My grandfather, most likely. He would always just encourage me to order the most expensive thing on the menu.
Oh.
Much to my parents' dismay.
Now I get it.
But yeah, he was always like, always get the filet mignon. But yeah, so I would never just order off the kids' menu. My father would always yell at me. But I think that I started eating adult food when I was younger. I never was a kids' menu person. And then, I don't know, I just think that I liked better food from the Olive Garden.
From the old Marsala. You like only the best from the Olive Garden.
Exactly.
We never had fast food. We were allowed fast food during one very special occasion. That's if we were on a road trip. So I would get really excited for the road trip because I knew halfway between here and Pittsburgh we'd get to stop at Wendy's. But they never took us to fast food other than that, like just on a general day. And there was never, and I didn't even know that, I don't even think I knew that there was a children's menu. My parents just made food and we'd go get food and that it was the food that was being eaten and it wasn't like we were going to get something special or something different.
And see, like as a child, I knew that Wendy's was a superior burger to McDonald's. And that if we were going to be eating fast food, I wanted to eat a Wendy's burger and not a McDonald's burger.
I don't even think that I was cognizant of that.
Oh, yeah. I remember like my mom would say, you only like certain things. But I don't think that I only liked certain things. I think I liked certain things from specific places because they were just better. Like I had a favorite pizza place from a young age. And
in high school, I was super into Taco Bell. Because you could get 39-cent bean burritos, cheap as fuck, and it was vegetarian.
Yeah.
So that was like the only fast food that was sort of like a part of my daily life.
I really liked their Mexican pizza.
39-cent bean burrito.
Bean and cheese burrito.
Yeah.
Did your mom cook for you growing up?
Yes, absolutely. Mom cooked all the time. Dad cooked sometimes. And I remember very clearly learning at the babysitters that for the first time, if I didn't, we were having like peanut butter sandwiches. I was like, I really don't like peanut butter. She's like, well, then why have you been eating peanut butter your whole life? And I was like, I don't understand what you're saying.
I have a choice?
Yeah, I didn't understand that I could say, I don't want to eat that. So like that was the only thing I felt comfortable saying I didn't want to eat. Like, there was no saying I don't like it. It just wasn't a concept. The concept didn't exist that you don't eat the food that is being prepared for you. You just fucking eat it.
I was the opposite of you. I remember being at a friend's house and I hated tuna fish. The smell would just like even turn my stomach. And the mom made tuna fish sandwiches and I had to wrap it up in a napkin, take it to the bathroom and flush it down the toilet. I could not bring myself to eat it. I never had
tuna fish until like I graduated from high school. And then I was working at a coffee shop and I had to learn how to make a tuna melt. And I was like, this is fucking delicious. It was just not anything that I had ever had. My mom didn't buy cans of food. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It just wasn't in the repertoire.
I know my mom cooked, but I don't really remember anything specific that she
I do
did.
remember Jennifer Stevenson. I hope she's listening.
She
I would go to her
definitely
house in high school, and her mom would be like, Judith's here, and she'd bring out the Frosted Flakes, because I told her that my parents wouldn't let us have sugar cereal.
Oh.
And she was like, but it's good, right? I'm like, yeah, it's good. And so that's all I ate at Jennifer Stevenson's house was Frosted Flakes. So that was a gateway drug.
And I never liked sugared cereal.
Oh my God, I adored sugar cereal, but only because we couldn't have it. It's not something
Yeah,
we
I get
had like
that.
oatmeal and we had pancakes, we had French toast, we had waffles. It was just the sugar cereal we were not allowed to have
My
because it was
sis-
crap.
Yeah. My sister had a severe addiction to Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's what she would eat.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was disgusting. And I always just wanted cornflakes with sliced strawberries like on the picture on the box.
Well, that was delicious, but
I want. So I ate
but I
that.
wanted a big teaspoon of sugar on top too.
Yeah, yeah.
I couldn't.
So I guess we had our moments. And then when do you think it kind of hit you in your like older life, teens, late teens, whatever, that you're like, oh, I like food. Like,
I don't know that there was a moment because half the Italian family, half the Jewish family for me, and both cultures, food is love. Food is the thing that we're doing tonight. We are all eating together. That's the thing that we're doing. It wasn't just like we eat to survive. Like food was always something special and important and good.
yeah.
So I don't know if I ever had a moment where I hadn't before realized that food was important, and then I realized it was important. Like it was always important.
I remember like I said, I have had a few firsts with you, but I remember us going out to dinner. We were probably 19, and there was like 4 of us girls. I think we were all like theater majors, and we went out to those like I forget what is. Oh, I think it was called That's Amore or something. Those like tasting those huge platters of pasta that are for like a family of 6 to 8 people that you would order, and they'd be like $30 or whatever. And we went there. I'd never had pesto before.
Oh,
I mean,
pesto's fancy.
We're not Italian, like that wasn't the kind of food that I grew up eating. If my mom made pasta, it was like a canned sauce and whatever. And I remember like being like, and you had ordered it. You were like, oh, we'll have the blah, 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 the pesto. And
I'll order for the table.
I think we each picked something. And I was like, I don't even know what that is. And then it came and it was like green and grain, like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I've never had this. And I remember really loving it and being like, oh, interesting. Okay. And it's funny that sticks out in my mind. I also,
Pesto.
yeah, the very first time I had sushi, I was with you.
Really?
I think we were 19. We were in New York visiting, as we used to do. We would drive up from Maryland and hang out in the city.
But did we have real sushi or did we have like a California roll?
Well, yeah, that's what we had. We had a tuna roll.
Okay.
We had an avocado roll.
Okay.
And we had a California roll.
For your first foray, I think that's solid.
Yeah, somewhere in the city. And I remember being like, thinking it's good, but how does this fill you up? Like that was my thought.
We didn't order enough, clearly.
But yeah.
See, my mom always gave us sushi. She loved sushi. But it was never like, I mean, we were in the suburbs of Maryland. Like, we'd have to go to the mall at Pentagon City to get the good sushi.
Oh, yeah. There was only like one good place, too. And I was definitely the gateway for my family for sushi. No one had it before me, and I only had it because of you.
Oh, my God. I love it.
My family, like, exotic to us was Chinese food. That was it. We
had a lot of Chinese food growing up because my mom worked for a senator and got the parents of the local Chinese restaurant owners into the country, like pulled some strings or something. So we had free Chinese food for life. So we ate a lot of Chinese.
Oh, that's amazing.
A lot of Chinese food.
We ate a lot of Mexican. Remember Chi-Chi's? Is that still a thing? Is that still a chain?
I don't know.
Chi-Chi's. Yeah, we ate a lot of that. And I remember they made their own chips because they were always warm. And that's another thing. I really liked their chips because they were
good
chips. And I realized that like from a young age.
like fast casual Mexican American food is better somehow. Like better than like the Olive Garden. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to fuck up rice and beans and cheese.
Right, rice and beans, like a burrito.
Yeah.
A burrito's, it's going to be good if you put some cheese and some salsa on it.
Yeah. Oh, we also ate a lot of CPK. I remember loving that mushroom pizza.
That was a late addition, though, wasn't it?
I feel like that was a high school thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, into college.
Mm-hmm.
My mom loved that. Janet loved that barbecue chicken salad.
Hell yeah, it was
the
delicious.
Crunchy jicama in it.
Hell yeah.
I don't think anybody knew what jicama was before that salad existed, right? That really put jicama on the map.
Really put jicama on the map.
Another moment that sticks out in my head that, again, you were there. Okay, so we have this friend, Rich Price, who also went to Towson with us and was a theater major and was a few years ahead of us. And he worked at this fancy restaurant in Baltimore, downtown, called Soda Sopra, right? I think that's what it was called. And you and I would like get dressed up and go in there because I don't think we were of age.
We weren't.
No.
We would sit at the bar and he would give us alcohol. That's the only reason we went.
Cosmos.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Sex in the City time. So we were drinking Cosmos and I remember.
And like, so Rich's boss was like, oh yeah, sure, you can have these two like 19-year-olds come and, I mean, I guess it happens all the time, but now I look back and I'm like.
I just think it was a different time and people didn't care.
Baltimore,
as much.
no one gave a shit.
And people like would smoke also. I mean, everything was different then. Rules weren't really rules. I don't know. It feels much.
And like if we were adults now, we're not. But if we were and we went to a restaurant and we saw two like clearly underage girls at the bar, would we be like, ooh? What are they doing?
I'd probably throw them a little shade.
Like, do we belong in the same restaurant?
Which is stupid because we were those girls.
Right, but that was a long time ago.
I mean, remember we would come up to the city and we didn't have problems getting served here in New York when we were 19,
right,
20.
Well,
some of the worst hangovers of my life. Like, let's go drink White Russians for 8 hours. It's a great idea. Anyway, so yeah, I remember having that meal. I remember he like brought out a pasta and I was just like, I never knew
love like this.
Right. And especially because my pasta references were apparently That's Amore in Towson, the Olive Garden in Annapolis, Maryland, and I don't know, whatever. Like this was like a real Italians owned this restaurant. Maybe that's why they didn't care that we were 19 and drinking at the bar because they were actually fucking like, they didn't give a shit.
We didn't always. For special occasions, we'd make our own sauce at home. But then when Classico came out, remember Classico?
Is that like a ragu?
It's a pasta sauce.
Prego.
That was like,
Classico.
but it was like a different level. It was like better. So we would have that from the can. But even if we had canned sauce, we'd like zhuzh it up with garlic and onions.
So Judith and I went to college together in Maryland. Then we ended up both doing semesters in Europe. I went to England to study theater, and you went to Rome. And obviously we went and visited each other in each place. So yeah, we did the semester apart, but in different countries. Then we came back and we were like, God, we want to get the hell out of here again. We were just living in Europe. Then we did a semester together in Los Angeles.
It was a national exchange program, which is pretty cool. And I feel like maybe now more kids know about it, but I feel like kids didn't really know about it.
Yeah, I don't even know how we heard about it, but we're like, wait, we could go to any
we can't spend any more time here in Towson, Maryland.
Right. Now that we've been in other countries, like we're way too worldly to be
we're
here.
too cool for this.
Get us out. And we were like, oh, maybe New Orleans, maybe Hawaii. Oh, duh,
right.
We're theater majors. Let's go to LA. So we did a semester in Los Angeles, which I ended up staying.
You just didn't come home.
I did. I didn't. I was like, I really like this weather and these palm trees are pretty cool. And so I finished out my year.
And that was senior year.
And you were just like,
I went back for the last, let me just finish this out last semester.
Yeah. And, but I do remember like we would take these trips to New York together because your uncle
cousin.
Your cousin
Yeah.
had a loft on Broome and Broadway.
It was
My God.
it was a family affair. It was a family residence.
That like he just had these random sculptures that he would
It was
work
his art
on.
studio.
Yeah. And there was like, it wasn't even a finished loft. I remember there was like a small sofa bed and not even a kitchen and like a
There was a bathroom.
barely functioning shower. And we would stay there and we would take,
And it was the tit.
and we loved it. And we would run around New York City like we were just
Yeah.
the hellions that we were, back to this loft on Broome and Broadway.
Because we were cool as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, were we? But I do
No.
another food memory that like really, really like has stayed with me. There was a restaurant called Penang. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
I don't know how we heard of it. Okay. I worked at a skate shop. And I was a buyer for the women's line. I thought that was the coolest job. It's probably still the coolest job I've ever had. I was like 18, 19 years old, the women's buyer for this skate shop. And we came to New York on a buying trip. And this clothing rep took us there. And I was like, oh my God, I have to take Judith. And then it was just, at the time it was this narrow New York restaurant and there was like a waterfall on the wall and there was like house music playing and
it was like cool, like pseudo Thai decor.
And it was like Malaysian, Thai, Southeast Asian. And I remember they like gave us mango rice in a hollowed out mango.
Holy shit.
And it was just like things we'd never seen, which now is probably so cheesy. It's so dumb. But that mango, and then like something came in a pineapple. And I was just like, this is so cool. And I just remember wanting to take, like every time we came back to the city, it was like, oh, we have to go to Penang.
It's our place.
Yeah. And I think it might have even been a chain. I think there was like
it was a mini chain.
locations. But I was really sad that a few years later, they all ended up closing. And I wonder now, like, was it that good?
Right.
Or was it just something we'd never had?
Doesn't matter.
I guess it doesn't because I was blown away.
Right. It doesn't matter.
And it was the first time I had like roti and curries. And that's such a specific like New York food memory. And it was probably around 1997, 98. Kind of crazy. So yeah. So many first food experiences with you. Let's get to like the present.
Okay. We are presently in Midtown Manhattan.
We are. We
on
both
the second floor.
We both live
in a studio
on the Lower East Side.
Yeah.
Randomly. So yeah, our lives came back together. We lived apart for a long time. I lived in LA for 20 years. I ended up moving back during the pandemic. Here I am 4 years later, and we live a block away from each other. How fucking cool is that shit?
And in a neighborhood that I never thought that I'd be able to live in.
Right?
Like I never thought I'd be able to live in the Lower East Side. I never thought I'd be able to live in Manhattan. I was in Brooklyn until right before we moved here, like 2019.
Look at us.
And look at me living in Manhattan.
You own your apartment.
I own property in
You're
Manhattan.
Fancy bitch.
Yeah, I'm fancy.
So yeah, and I think it was cool. I love our friendship, but I love how like I would always come to New York once or twice a year to see you, and you would always come out to LA once or twice. And
I stayed for a month once. You remember that?
Yeah, I do. And even with those trips, we would still find an international trip to do together. We have been. Let's see if we can recount all the places we've been.
Okay.
What do you got?
Mexico. That's easy.
So many times. Greece,
Thailand,
Vietnam,
Spain,
Morocco, Spain, Barcelona, Spain, and Spain, Mallorca, Spain.
Right.
Different trips.
Panama
many times.
Is that it?
I don't know. No, there's got to be.
I mean, not, but that we've been together.
Maybe.
Well, did we go to other European countries together? No, just we didn't travel in Europe together.
I mean, we've obviously been in Rome together.
Right, Rome and
we've been
England.
in London, England together.
But I don't we didn't go to like Switzerland.
No, not together. I don't know. There's got to be. We'd have to really sit down and think about it. I feel like there's a lot more places.
Greece, Vietnam.
We said those. Yeah. Anyway, I love it. I love us. We're going to Oaxaca in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We haven't been there.
Never been to Oaxaca. That's a new one. I like it.
We have been to Tulum. We have been to Mexico City. But yeah, here we go. Oaxaca.
What was that? West Coast place we went to? Mexican. We drove from LA.
Oh, the Valle de Guadalupe.
Mm-hmm.
Love that place.
That was great.
Wine country in Mexico. If you've never been, holy hell, it's stunning and it's so affordable and it's like this hidden gem of a place.
Have we been to Canada together?
I've never been to Canada.
You've never been to Canada?
I've never been to Canada. No.
Oh, you would really like Montreal, I think.
That's what everybody
it's cute.
says. I need to do it.
Just need to go like during the spring or the fall or the summer.
I can't deal with winter. So here we are in the present, living on the Lower East Side. What's our favorites? What are your favorite spots in the hood? What are your favorite spots in our neighborhood? Let's get specific. Actually, no. Let's not. Or let's. Hi, I'm not drunk. This is water.
So the thing about our neighborhood is, excuse me, it's been a long day. We could go out to dinner every night and never go to the same place twice.
I know, it's really
so I
depressing.
feel like, yes, I do have favorites. Like,
tell me them.
What's that Sri Lankan place? It's called Pangi or Pangi, and it's on that.
I don't think I've ever been there.
It's near that Indian restaurant with all the lights in the window.
Oh, Panna.
Maybe that's the word
the
I'm
Indian
thinking.
place.
What's the Sri Lankan place called? And there are only there's 2 Sri Lankan restaurants in Manhattan, and the rest of them are in Staten Island. What's it called? Anyway, it's right next door to that.
I've never been.
It's really good.
Okay.
I really like Shopson's in Essex Market, which has been there since the 80s. Russ and Daughters, but everybody likes Russ and Daughters.
Would you say that's your favorite bagel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the accoutrement. Because
Okay.
once you put the things on their bagels, nothing beats it.
The lox, the whitefish, all that.
That
all good stuff.
it's unbeatable.
Yeah.
Kopitam is a Malaysian restaurant.
Love that place.
That shit's amazing.
That is a gem.
Servos, Forsythia.
Always servos.
But I've never been to any of those places more than 5 times. So to call it my favorite, it's crazy.
But that's the thing about New York. I feel like Thai Diner. I've been to probably more than any other restaurant in New York.
And have you been there 10 times?
Probably 7 or 8.
Right.
But that's the thing because
there's so many restaurants.
And Servos too. I've probably been 5 times, and I will say it's one of my favorite restaurants. But it's just so hard to go.
There's always somewhere else to go.
Yeah.
I really like what's the new Italian place just above Houston on a
new place.
Foul Witch. I love fucking Foul.
Oh yeah, from the Roberta's people.
I know you didn't love it. Ryan and my husband and I loved it, and we've been 3 times.
Okay, I've only been once. I liked it.
You can spit on it from our apartment.
Yeah.
So it's there are just so many other places to go.
Also in our neighborhood for comforting Italian, I really like Il Posto Accanto.
Absolutely.
It's been there for 20 years. God, what would you say
Kiki's?
Oh yeah,
fucking Kiki's.
Love Kiki's, and that again, one of the first places we went when I moved here during the pandemic.
And it was so perfect for the pandemic because it's everyone was out on the street. It's cobblestones. It's in that it's like a triangle corner. It just everyone was in the street like Europeans. It was great.
That kept me in the city. I was like, if this is the vibe,
and it was really good Greek food.
It was,
and I think that we had just
recently
been to Greece, so we were we knew a little bit about what good Greek food could be.
We're tara masalata. We know what that is. We'll have that. That's fish dip.
Oh, we love that. We've been there. But we had learned a little bit more, and so we were oh, this is actually excellent Greek food.
Yeah. That place I've probably, in the 4 years I've lived here, has stuck out in my mind, and I've probably only been 2 more times. Yeah. And I still say I love it. It's one of my favorites. Yes.
Right. But it's not that you walk in and they're whoa. Right, yeah. You're not norm.
Right. They're like that at Il Posto Accanto. They love me there. Let's talk specific New York shit. You got a favorite slice?
I don't. I feel like it is I feel like it's unfair to New York to have a favorite slice.
Oh, I disagree.
Because
let's fight about it.
um
How is it unfair?
because all of the slices are supposed to be good.
But they're not.
They're not all great, but they're all good.
I don't know.
They absolutely are all good. You get any of those dollar slices, they're going to be a good slice of pizza.
I threw one in the trash. I didn't finish it.
Never
I know
in
that's so
never
shitty.
in my
That's
life.
so shitty, but I couldn't.
Absolutely never in my life. I do remember going to LA and ordering a pizza and being like,
bring that up, is she?
because I was like, oh yeah, we'll just get a pizza. Like, no big deal. Like, we're all really hungry. We don't know what to eat. We'll just get a pizza. And the pizza arrived. And I'm like, what's this? This is atrocious. It like wasn't even pizza.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
That's funny.
That's the only time I can remember in my life not liking a slice of pizza.
I have
Pizza's just fucking good. And if you fuck it up, there's something wrong with you.
well, there's just like people that are doing it better. And like I have my trifecta
Sure.
of like Lindustry, Mama's 2, and Scars. And you know, you used to have to go up to the Upper West Side, but now Mama's 2 is open in the West Village. And now there's a Lindustry in the West Village too. So like you can hit them both 1, 2, bam,
And you can also
bam.
go to
Joe's is right there too.
piece of shit place number 3 and it'll be good.
Wait,
I
we will agree to disagree.
I feel like
on
you can-
piece of
I feel
shit
like you can
pizza
do
number
both.
3.
How about number 4?
Yeah, it was really doughy the last time I went there. I couldn't eat it. And we talked about bagels. So you like the accoutrement of the Rustin daughters?
Also, like the experience has something
yeah,
that, you know,
it's
like
a great
it's
room.
it's and the people and it looks cool and it sounds cool and that matters too.
I really
like I'm
like-
sure like hot what Heaven's Hot Bagels down the
I haven't
street.
had that.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. But you know, it's kind of grimy and they've got like Snapple in a cake. It's not
Yeah.
as there's no like
right. It's not.
theater to it.
Yeah.
It's a
And
perfectly
yet she wants
service
to go to piece of shit pizza number 4 and
because you need both. You can't always go to Resin Daughters. Sometimes you're like, if I don't get a bagel in my mouth right now, I'm gonna fucking die.
that's when you go to the bodega and tell me that. What's your bodega order?
I've never been like a bodega food connoisseur. I feel like if I'm going to a bodega, it's for a coffee, bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll.
Yep,
Period.
that's it. Same.
Like, yes, I've had chopped cheese and it's fucking delicious. I mean, I'll get a sandwich and put Doritos in it. It's one of my favorite jams.
That's your thing, huh?
Yeah,
I've
oh my
never
God.
seen you do
Really?
that.
Oh my God, I fucking love it. It's so good. It's so good. And then I get to, you know, like as chips get more complicated, I'm like, oh, what kind of chips am I going to put in my sandwich?
I like a chip in a sandwich. I'm just not a Dorito in a sandwich.
Oh, a Dorito is good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
How about you?
For what? Bagels? I mean, in our neighborhood, I guess Tompkins Square bagels. One of my favorite bagels, though, is all the way in the Upper West Side, so I hardly ever go there. It's Absolute Bagel. I just think it's perfect what they're doing. Also, when I was living in Williamsburg, Leo Sourdough, they were doing bagels, and they just opened a spot called Apollo Bagels
Oh, yeah.
in the East Village, and I keep meaning to go, but they're only open like these days, and there's a line, and blah 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 blah. But it is when they were doing the Leo sourdough bagel, it was I remember it to be a perfect bagel. So we should definitely
All right.
hit that up once we're not line people. We don't
Right.
wait in lines. We'll wait until it dissipates. Or I don't mind going over to Williamsburg. I mean, we live just over the bridge, so who cares?
Sometimes I care.
What about like, do you have a favorite bar? Or just like a favorite place to just like get a drink?
I don't really have a favorite bar anymore. I guess. Never been like a regular bar. You know, I've never had a regular local. In old neighborhoods when there were 3 bars, I picked one.
Yeah.
But like it's the Lower East Side. The
Yeah,
whole
there's-
place is a bar.
Right, that's true. That is in fact true. There was vomit on my doorstep last night. So,
Right.
yeah.
Because it's a bar.
It's all a bar. Okay, here's a good question for you. Let's talk like fancy shit. Any high-end splurge restaurants that you have been to and loved, or splurge restaurants that you haven't been to and want to go to?
Where did we just go in Hudson Yards?
Cisiamo?
Cisiamo.
Would you call that a splurge restaurant? I mean, it's definitely higher end than like your normal Italian, but I'm talking like the per se's, the EMPs, the.
We were just at Joji, which is fucking
that is a
splurge, and it was splurge food, uni and toro and caviar and
Wagyu
and truffles. Like, it was all splurgy fancy food. That was amazing. I don't know if I'll ever do it again because it's like,
yeah, it's
half a month's pay.
$425 a person. Luckily, we were treated.
So yeah, that was really special. That was a very special, beautiful meal.
I
really want to go back to Le Bernardin because we went.
Oh yeah, that was so long ago, and we sat in the bar area.
We sat in the bar. We didn't do the thing. We weren't really like full adults yet.
Yeah, we didn't know what we were doing.
I definitely want to go back.
I remember I went to Brooklyn Fair.
I never
Chef's Table at Brooklyn Fair 2 years ago.
At the one in Brooklyn or the one in Hudson Yards?
Not in Brooklyn since they moved it, but since I have been there, the original chef left.
Yeah, they had a total meltdown, right?
Yeah, but it was, I think that up until, well, I didn't pay for Joji, but that was the most expensive food or meal that I've ever had. I thought it was super worth it because I know that you and I have gone to a few Michelin star restaurants in Spain and like during our travels. Sometimes I have a hard time remembering them. Like, I don't always think that Michelin star or more expensive equals more. Like, I remember when we were in Barcelona and we had that perfect tortilla at Calpep.
Right, and that was just like a sit at a bar sort of thing.
And then we went to like a Michelin star place where like they did the like egg and the truffle. And I vaguely remember that, but I don't remember anything else. But I remember everything about Calpep.
I think Calpep was a scene. Like, people lined up at like 4:45.
They did.
And like you get in there and they like threw the food at you and you ate it and then they threw you out.
Yeah. And it was perfect.
And it was really good food.
Absolutely perfect. No like bright lights, no ambiance. But man.
No hand washing.
Never.
Like, it was just.
Never had like a tortilla like that before in my life. What about restaurants you haven't been to that are splurge meals, like anywhere in the world?
I want to go to like.
I mean, you just said you wanted to go to Le Bernardin.
I want to go to like the restaurant that's at the two-room hotel in the middle of nowhere, Peru, like an hour and a half drive from Cusco. I want to go to like the one that's on a cave and the beach in South Africa. Like, those like those like crazy like.
You want an adventure restaurant?
Yeah, I want to go to the fucking menu restaurant. I want to I want it to be fucking weird.
Just maybe not end up murdered.
Maybe not end up murdered, or like you have to climb the mountain in Japan and get in when like I want to do all that stupid shit.
Well, you went to that amazing place in Spain that's like 60 courses or whatever. The Alchemist?
That was in Copenhagen.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. That was Copenhagen. That was because we couldn't get into Noma.
Right. How many courses?
It was something like that. It was like 45.
Impressions.
It was 45. Was it impressions? Yeah, because some of them were just like, look at this. It wasn't a food. It wasn't a food.
And you're in like different rooms.
There was a ball pit. The food wasn't great, but the experience was crazy.
And it's like insanely expensive, right?
Yeah, and of course. And once you get there, you're like, well, I guess we're gonna do the wine pairing.
Let's just.
I mean, we're in for a penny, in for a pound. And by that I mean like 3,000 pounds.
That's yeah.
But I would absolutely if I every time Noma releases their tickets, I'm on there trying to get it. I will absolutely go back to Copenhagen and go. I will absolutely do it.
Yeah.
Those crazy things. Sure. You only live once.
I want to go to Echevarri in Spain. And it's that thing. It's like outside of,
yeah.
and you have to go to it. And their food is not truffles. It's not any of that. It's a open fire grill, the prawns and the meat. And it's just like simple food. But
it's like you have to
I want to go there. And I don't know why I'm not. Like, there's no reason why I shouldn't.
Go to there.
Let's wrap it up. Like, any other places you want to shout out? Oh, you know what? Let's edit this back in. I have another food memory of us.
Okay.
One time I was visiting you in New York, and we went to, because we always used to just plan what restaurants, and we would have like first dinner, second dinner. Like that's how we planned our whole trips. Like, where are we eating? And we did like, I remember that, I think it was that same trip we did like Momofuku Ko and whatever. And we went to Osteria Marini. And I think we both cried. Like, we had a bite of some sort of, and maybe this is the first time I had truffle, because now truffles don't like knock my sauce up.
This was after you had been in Panama for a long time. So a rich Italian pasta was not what you had been eating. You had been in Panama for a long time at that point.
3
and
years.
You were like,
I'm
wearing shoes, like I've blow dried my hair, you know, and we went out, and it just like, where are you going to get all of this pasta, Italian stuff on an island off of Panama? You just weren't getting it.
No.
And your pupils dilated, like tears came to your eyes.
I do remember actually crying. There were legit tears, and it was like a truffle ravioli, and I was just like,
but it wasn't too truffly, but I mean, it was fucking perfect. This?
I haven't been back to that place since, but Candace tells me that they have an amazing happy hour pasta every Monday, and I think we all need to go back.
I want a happy pasta.
I know, right? They're like half off, Candy. $15. What? What are we doing with our lives if we're not eating $15 pastas?
I went for brunch after working out, so I was like, oh, I don't want to ruin my workout. So like, it wasn't the last time I went, it wasn't the same.
All right, well, we need to make this. Maybe that Monday that we scheduled our meeting, we'll go after. Any other places you want to shout out? Neighborhood stuff or? I recently discovered Radio Bakery in Greenpoint. I'm obsessed with it. I'm hardly ever in Greenpoint. I had a client there. Obsessed.
What do they bake at the bakery?
Oh, everything's great. Like, their focaccia's insane. Their sandwiches, their pastries. You think you've had a chocolate croissant in your life? You haven't, I swear to God, until you've had theirs.
Okay. Oh shit, that moon, what's that moon?
Oh, Supermoon Bakehouse. Yeah.
That's what I eat when I'm like, I'm either going to kill myself or I'm going to have a donut.
I really love their passion fruit donut.
No, seriously. I'm either going to throw myself in front of traffic or have 2 passion fruit donuts delivered and then eat both of them.
Delivered. You live 45 seconds away.
No,
from
seriously.
Me, you lazy bitch.
I know. No, because if I leave the house, I'm going to kill myself.
They also have that Ferrero Rocher, like
their shit is delicious.
Yeah, it's really we're lucky to have that.
Has prevented me from causing myself harm.
Well, on that note, hit up Supermoon Bakehouse.
Oh, so good.
It really is good. I hope you guys learned a little bit about us.
Yeah. We'll edit it down to like a tight
15.
A tight 15.
A tight 15. Thanks for listening, Mom.
I used to be a tight 15.
Oh, God. We plan on doing a Q&A episode. So, if you guys have any questions,
what do we have? Do we have what do we got? A website?
Put it in my mouth for
Instagram?
2069 at gmail.com. and throw us your questions and we'll get back to you. But other than that, we'll see you next time, yeah?
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.